विशालं दुःखहरं वृन्दावनचन्द्रम् आनन्दकन्दं परमानन्दं धरणिधरम् जय गोपालं पुरवनमालं नयनविशालं दुःखहरं वृन्दावनचन्द्रम् आनन्दकन्दं परमानन्दं धरणिधरं वल्लभघनश्यामं पूर्णकामम् अत्यभिरामं प्रीतिकरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
सुन्दरवारिजवदनं निर्जितमदनं आनन्दसदनं मुकुटधरं पुण्याकृतिहारं विपिनविहारं परमोदारं चीरहरं वल्लभपटपीतं कृतौपवीतं करनवनीतं विबुधवरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
शोभितमुखधूलं यमुनाकूलं निपट अतुलं सुखदतरं मुखमण्डितरेणुं चारितधेनुं वादितवेणुं मधुरसुरं वल्लभमतिविमलं शुभपदकमलं नखरुचिअमलं तिमिरहरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं
शिरमुकुटसुदेशं कुञ्चितकेशं नटवरवेशं कामवरं मायाकृतमनुजं हलधरानुजं प्रतिहततनुजं भारहरं वल्लभव्रजपालं सुभगसुचालं हितमनुकालं भाववरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
इन्दीवरभासं प्रकटसुरासं कुसुमविकासं वंशीधरं ऋतमन्मथ तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं
अस्ति परमप्रवीणं पालितदीनं भक्ताधीनं कर्मकरं मोहनमतिधीरं फणिबलवीरं हतपरवीरं तरलतरं वल्लभव्रजरमणं वारिजवदनं हलधरशमनं शैलधरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं सर्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
जलधरद्युतिअङ्गं ललितत्रिभङ्गं बहुकृतरङ्गं रसिकवरं गोकुलपरिवारं मदनाकारं कुञ्जविहारं गूढतरं वल्लभव्रजचन्द्रं सुभगतुच्छन्दं कृतानन्दं भ्रान्तिहरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं सर्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
वन्दितयुगचरणं पावनकरणं जगदोद्धरणं विमलधरं कालियशिरगमनं कृतफणिनमनं घातितयमनं मृदुलतरं वल्लभदुःखहरणं निर्मलचरणं अशरणशरणं मुक्तिकरं भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं सर्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
भजनन्दकुमारं सर्वसुखसारं तत्त्वविचारं ब्रह्मपरम्
Shri Mataji. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to today's session with foot soaking. Let's start by raising our Kundalini and putting ourselves in a bandhan. And let's, I suppose today's, just something about today's session. I was listening to Viratangana Puja that of Shri Mataji, and I've heard it a few times, but every time I hear it, it just blows my mind away. Just realizing the the gift we've got or what we can achieve through our meditations. So I thought we'll delve into that a little bit over the next few weeks. But to start all of that is probably great to start at the Vishudhi. So we've got Vishnu at the Nabhi, who takes the form of Krishna, and then we go into the Agya, the Virat at the forehead, and going up from there towards the Sahasrara. So at the Vishudhi, we talk about 16 petals. There's 5 elements that we talk about. Now, at the Sahasrara, we know we have always reiterated that we've got 1,000 petals at the Sahasrara. Now, each of these petals have 5 elements, and then they have 16 powers, as in the Vishudhi. So each of these 1,000 petals or 1,000 nerves total 16,000 in total. So when we get our realization, all of these, as we get deeper into meditation, it is all of these that get enlightened. Now, with the 1,000 nerves, when they get enlightened, it's literally like 1,000 dimensions to become, that we become collectively conscious. So when our Kundalini awakens, it brings the dormant energies into play, which, obviously we know it happens spontaneously. And all of these energies get into motion. So all these 1,000 energies of the brain, of the 1,000 nerves, the 1,000 petals get awakened. And the power of these that get awakened is called the Viratangana. And then the 16, so the total 16,000 powers in our being is, I suppose, is given or enlightened or flows through her, is her power. So Adi Shakti takes the form of Viratangana, who gives these powers within us. So I don't know, I suppose when we talk about, the drop becoming the ocean, this gives the idea, the immensity of what we can experience and what we can be. What we experience in our meditation, in our depth, is a few strands of the Kundalini going up, but there's so much more to achieve. So to me, I find it a great incentive to achieve that depth in our meditation, to experience that depth. So we'll cover this week the 3 aspects of the Vishudhi, the left, right, and center, and hope to start experiencing a little bit of that. So let's start by putting the water in a bandhan today. Again, with that request, of the essence of the water element to be vibrated in the water that we have got, or we can say the mantra of Sri Samudra Devata, which is the god of the ocean, to give the powers into the water to make it vibrated, to help absorb and cleanse our negativities of our subtle system. So today we'll cover the right Vishudhi. We'll talk a little bit about Sri Vitthala Rukmini and the form of Sri Krishna in that. But let's start our meditation. So put our feet in the water. Let's use our right hand to just raise the Kundalini in the front a few times, requesting Mother Kundalini to awaken within us, to help cleanse our energy centers, balance our energy channels, take us deep into meditation, the state of thoughtless and doubtless awareness, to experience some of these powers of Sri Viratangana to be established within us. Let's take a deep breath in. And as we breathe in, slowly bring our attention from the Sahasrara all the way down the spine, through our energy centers, down to the base of the spine. Hold our breath and hold the attention at the base. And slowly breathe out, bringing the attention back up through the energy centers to the Sahasrara. At this time, let's also keep our attention on our hands as we breathe in and move our attention down to the base. Nice deep breath in. Tension at the base of the spine. Hold our breath. Tension at the base of our palm. We are holding our breath. And slowly breathe out, moving our attention up through Swadhisthana, Nabhi, the heart, Vishudhi, Agya, and the Sahasrara. Let's keep our attention a couple of inches above the Sahasrara and just watch our hands. Just watch Shri Mataji's, the red spot on Mother's forehead or Mother's or throat, her face, her feet, whatever you feel comfortable. And then for the top of the head, the attention, just watch our hands. Just feel what vibrations you're feeling. Watching your thoughts. We always say we humble down, we worship, we invite the deity of the energy center so that their energy starts spinning on our energy centers and helps to clear out and cleanse the energy center and bring it into balance. So obviously, as we are requesting a deity, it's more about expressing it with humility. With appreciation, and with the desire in our heart. As we are talking about 16,000 energies on the 1,000 petals of our Sahasrara, that is the power of our brain, of the divine. Mother, you who are the integrated brain of divinity, the collective consciousness, please awaken and establish your presence on my Vishudhi chakra. Keeping our attention on the Sahasrara, just watch the two first fingers on our hand. So we watch Mother's photo, attention on top of the Sahasrara, and with our attention, we're just seeing our hands, feeling the vibration. Just the two first fingers. Mother, please awaken and establish your presence on my Vishudhi chakra. Mother, you who subdues the serpent of anger, hate, and arrogance, please let your love permeate through every cell of my being, every nerve of my brain, and restore the lost vision of the absolute within me. Mother, I am the Spirit. Let the thoughts, if you're getting thoughts, let them float by. Just try and get the space between the thoughts. As you watch the thoughts, I'm not this thought. I am the Spirit. This is not mine. I am the Spirit. Keep bringing your attention back on top of your head, just a couple of inches above the Sahasrara. Keep watching the finger, the Vishudhi finger, the first finger on your two hands. Mother, you who grants the power of silence and the power to expand thoughtless awareness, please let the silence of the cosmos, the silence of the macrocosm, of the thoughtless state infuse within my being, still my mind and fill my heart. Mother, I am the Spirit. Mother, please let the silence of thoughtless state still my mind, fill my heart. One of the greatest hurdles in our own ascent is ourselves, our ego, our superego, our perceptions, our conditionings. Whether I am the spirit, I am not this ego or this superego. Father, please dissolve my ego and superego. Father, I am the spirit. Keeping our attention on the top of the head, just watching with our attention the whole hand, tips of our fingers, base of our palm, the center of our palm. Mother, please enlighten the cells of my brain. Let the light of my spirit shine in my brain and lead me to victory on the battlefield of the brain. Mother, let me be part and parcel of the whole, dissolved in the collective consciousness of your being. Just keep our attention still on the top of the Sahasrara. Wash our feet and get our feet out of the water. And we'll listen to a talk by Shri Mataji on the right Vishudhi.
Now, when we have our Vishudhi problems, we have to know what are the deities on both the sides and what were their qualities which are lacking in us. That's why we are suffering. Let's see the right side, Vishudhi, when we catch. Sri Krishna's essence is sweetness, madhurya. Madhurya. And his power was Radha. Ra is energy, Dham is the one who has sustained the energy. And her power was, she was called as Ahlad. Ahlad means joy-giving qualities she had. So Sri Krishna's qualities were that he was Yogeshwara, so he was the witness, and sweetness. Now a person who shouts and screams and talks loudly and loses his temper in a very loud voice, or who speaks very loudly all the time, they all suffer from the right vision. So one should understand that even when you have to scold somebody, you have to just say, what are you doing? Why are you doing like this? Otherwise, why did you? Oh, like this, finished, right vision, over. It's finished. So for the right Vishudhi, we use the mantra of Vitthala and Rukmi, these two persons. You see, it is very significant, that also. Because they say that there was a Pundarikaksh, one boy, who was serving his parents. And his parents were sleeping, he was pressing their feet. When Vitthala and his power, Rukmini, they appeared in the door. But he said, now keep quiet. My parents are sleeping, so you stay there. So he had one brick near him which he threw and asked them, you stay on that. So they kept quiet. They kept quiet because they are sleepy. Now this is the thing. On the right side, if you are talking loudly, if you talk too much, if you intimidate people with your talking, then you catch on right Vishudhi. So for that, best is to take some rest and give some rest to your right Vishudhi by stopping your talk. Go into mauna, they said, just don't talk. For some time, if you don't talk, you will see that your Vishudhi will be improved, your problems will be improved. So as it is the right side, what happens is that the heat starts coming from the stomach. It's all in one play. We can say not from the stomach, but actually from the liver. The heat starts rising. It first goes into the right heart. As a result, you might become a very hot-tempered husband or a father or something. You might get asthma, anything with that right heart. Then it passes on to your right Vishudhi. When it goes to your right Vishudhi, then you become a very irritable, hot-tempered person. All the time you shout at someone. Nobody can talk to you. If somebody has to talk to you, he has to use a barge pole in between. God knows what time he'll shout at you. Or maybe I've seen many women lose their hearing or men lose their hearing when there's somebody who is shouting at them. So shouting is a very bad thing for others and also for yourself. Because of course your Vishudhi goes out, after some time your voice goes out, after some time you cannot talk, and sometimes they have to just keep quiet. But for others, it's even worse. Because if you use your anger in that manner, then that person might be just frightened of you, might develop inferiority complex, might become a left-sided person, might catch some boots, or God knows what can happen to a person who has somebody all the time shouting at him. But the worst physical thing could be that he can become deaf. So, from Sri Krishna's life, one has to learn that how he would just play his flute and the whole atmosphere used to become absolutely quiet, without any ripple of any trouble, any idea of disturbance. Just peaceful. But in modern times, the other way now. They have the music where the right Vishudhi is about to break or burst, I don't know what sort of music it is. When they listen to this music, see, then it excites. Then it excites you. It doesn't make you peaceful. It excites you more and more. But as Sri Krishna becomes Virata, your limbic area also gets numbed with it. And when this shouting music is too much, then they have to use loudspeakers and shout much more. Then they have to put something near the ear to hear something. Otherwise, they have no excitement. All the exciting, we can say, all the exciting cells become numbed. And you have to really go in for tremendous effort to create that excitement in those numbed cells. So it's very dangerous throughout. If you see that it starts from the liver, goes to the right heart, then to Vishudhi, and then in the brain. So then you take to drugs. because your brain is numbed out. So you take to drugs, and when you take to drugs, then you feel that you are all right. Then again, you feel that this drug is not sufficient, then you take stronger drugs, then you take more drugs. It goes on one after another. Ultimately, it reaches a stage when you are nowhere. So it is all self-destructive. I am also using my right Vishudhi too much. So on the right Vishudhi, you have to learn to have mauna, means silence. Those who think, who are very dominating, who are talking in a very dominating manner, whose right Vishudhi is catching, should become silent and should, at least for some time, should not talk at all. Maybe you might fix one day, say you can do it on say, I'll not talk on Monday. But supposing Monday you have to work, so you should say, I'll not talk on Sunday. But human beings are such that if they decide they will not talk on Sunday, then Sunday they'll talk the most. And this shouting and then intimidating people, you have no right. You have no business to shout at anyone whatsoever. What is the need to shout? After all, you are a human being, another one is a human being. God has not given anyone, whether it is a husband, wife, children or anyone. But I find these days even children shout, the mother shouts, the father shouts. If you go in the house, you feel like running back because you'll hear nothing but shouts. So this kind of a family system will completely finish that family, and there will be no beautiful relationship between each other and between the other people. Sometimes you can say the whole country is having nothing but shouting at one and shouting at another. All over you go, you find nothing but shouting. Even if you take your car a little bit this side, there will be a shouting. For the slightest excuse, they start shouting and spoiling their right Vishudhi. Now, for politicians, they think it's the best way to shout because they can really impress people by their shouts. So they shout a lot, tell people this, that. When they speak, you should hear there's no sweetness in their tongue, nothing of the kind. But they shout, and by shouting, a person gets frightened. All right, you want the vote, we'll give you, but don't shout. That's how many people get elected and become big and think that they are very successful because they have been shouting. Then they have training for shouting, and they go in for a higher and higher education in shouting. How to shout, how to intimidate people by the loud voices. For Sahaja Yogis, it doesn't behove. Sahaja Yogi has to be a very sweet person. Extremely sweet. Now,
श्री पाण्डुरङ्गाष्टकम् महायोगपीठे तटे भीमरथ्या वरं पुण्डरीकाय दान्तुं मुनीन्द्रैः समागत्य तिष्ठन्तमानन्दकन्दम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् तडिद्वाससं नीलमेघावभासम् रमामन्दिरं सुन्दरं चित्प्रकाशम् वरं त्विष्टिकायां समन्यस्तपादम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् प्रमाणं भवाब्धेरिदं मामकानां नितम्बकराभ्यां धृतो येन तस्मात् विधातुर्वसत्यै धृतो नाभिकोशः परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् स्फुरत्कौस्तुभालङ्कृतं कण्ठदेशे श्रियाजुष्टकेयूरकं श्रीनिवासम् शिवं शान्तमीड्यं वरं लोकपालम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् शरच्चन्द्रबिम्बाननं चारुहासं लसत्कुण्डलाक्रान्तगण्डस्थलान्तम् जपारागबिम्बाधरं कञ्जनेत्रम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् किरीटोज्ज्वलत् सर्वदिक्प्रान्तभागं सुरैरर्चितं दिव्यरत्नैरनर्घैः त्रिभङ्गाकृतिं बर्हमाल्यावतंसम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् विभुं वेणुनादं
So
चरन्तं
place our left hands on our right Vishudhi.
लीलया गोपवेशन्दधानम् गवां
At the place,
वृन्दकानन्ददञ्चारुहासम्
establish the silence and sweetness within me.
पाण्डुरङ्गम् अजं रुक्मिणी प्राणसञ्जीवनन्तम् परन्धाम कैवल्यमेकन्तुरीयम् प्रसन्नं प्रपन्नार्तिहं देवदेवम् परब्रह्मलिङ्गं भजे पाण्डुरङ्गम् स्तवं पाण्डुरङ्गस्य वैपुण्यदं ये पठन्त्येकचित्तेन भक्त्या च नित्यम् भवाम्भोनिधिं ते वितीर्त्वान्तकाले हरेरालयं शाश्वतं प्राप्नुवन्ति साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
So that was the hymn of Shri Panduranga, which is another name for Vitthala. As we were listening to Shri Mataji, Shri Krishna on the right Vishudhi in the form of Shri Vitthala. So in Maharashtra, there's a place called Pandharpur, which is where they have the seat. It's called the seat of his temple. And it's called as Panduranga there, so in the form of Vitthala. So in the form of, in the different forms of Shri Krishna, in the center there's Gopi Gopika. When he was ruling Dwarika, which was on the right, as the right side in the form of Vitthala. Then also on the form of left side, his power as a female, as his sister, Vishnu Maya, Radha as his power in our center Vishudhi, the power of his wife, Rukmini, on the right side, on the right Vishudhi. So on the right Vishudhi, we also do the mantra for Shri Vitthala Rukmini. Let's keep our attention on the Sahasra, left hand on our right Vishudhi, right hand on our lap. You can just watch the right first finger, right Vishudhi finger. Mother, please establish the silence and sweetness within me. And just keep watching the vibrations coming through your right hand and targeting into your right Vishudhi. And we'll just listen to the 21 names of Shri Vitthala Rukmini.
श्री विट्ठल रुक्मिणी के 21 नाम। ओम श्री पंढरीनाथाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री पुंडरीकवरदाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री परब्रह्मलिंगाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री चित्तप्रकाशाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री कैवल्यानंदाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री विभवे नमो नमः। ओम श्री सखिने नमो नमः। ओम श्री हरये नमो नमः। ओम श्री सुंदरचारुहासाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री वेणुनादाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री प्रसन्नाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री घनश्यामाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री पांडुरंगाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री सुभाषणाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री गोपतये नमो नमः। ओम श्री वागीश्वराय नमो नमः। ओम श्री सर्वमंत्रसिद्धये नमो नमः। ओम श्री पतितपावनाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री अनाथनाथाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री जगन्नाथाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री रुक्मिणीपतये नमो नमः। साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
So as we say the names or listen to the names of the presiding deity for the energy centers, we're basically surrendering to that aspect, surrendering to the deity and opening ourselves to allow the various aspects and the qualities of those, of the deity, of those energy centers to establish within us. So I hope as you were listening to the names, you could feel the pulsation or the vibration coming in through your right Vishudhi finger. Let's just both our hands on our lap. Just for a moment, enjoy the silence of the meditation. Let's put our hands together and thank Shri Mataji for the opportunity for a collective meditation today. And thank you everyone for the vibrational support. Let's raise our Kundalinis and put ourselves in a bandhan. We've had a request for bandhan for Amira Jain, the 8-month-old that had an open heart surgery a few months ago. So if you could please, and anyone else who would like any bandhan, please feel free to put it in the chat. And you're welcome to continue sitting in meditation. I've got a little video of, let's just share that. Share screen. So this is, okay, there we go. Bhimsen Joshi is a very famous vocal, classical, Indian classical singer who sang the Vitthala in praise of Shri Vitthala in front of Shri Mataji. So we'll just finish off with this. So you please feel free to continue sitting in meditation for a little while longer. Thank you. Jai Shri Mataji. Have a great evening, everyone.
देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल Kshetra Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, Kshetra 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 Vitthala. Deva Vitthala, Deva Puja, Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, Kshetra 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 Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala. Deva Vitthala, Deva Puja, Vitthala, Tirtha 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 Vitthala, Mata Vitthala, Pita Vitthala, Mata Vitthala, Pita Mata Vitthala, 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 Mata Vitthala, Pita Vitthala, Mata Vitthala, Pita Vitthala, Bandhu Vitthala, Gotra Vitthala, Bandhu Vitthala, Gotra Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, Tirtha Vitthala, 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 Guru Vitthala, Guru Devata Vitthala, Guru Vitthala, Guru Devata Vitthala, Vitthala, Guru Vitthala, Guru Devata Guru Vitthala, Guru Devata Guru Devata Guru Vitthala, Guru Vitthala, Guru Devata निरंतर विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र नामा म्हणे बाज विठ्ठलचा पडला नामा म्हणे बाज नामा म्हणे बाज नामा म्हणे बाज नामा म्हणे मधु विठ्ठलचा बडना नामा म्हणे मधु विठ्ठलचा पडला नामा म्हणे मधु विठ्ठलचा विठ्ठल 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 नामा म्हणे बाज विठ्ठलचा पडला विठ्ठलचा पडला नामा म्हणे बाज विठ्ठलचा पडला नामा म्हणे बाज विठ्ठलचा पडला म्हणून कळी काळ पाड नाही म्हणून कळी काळ पाड नाही म्हणून कळी काळ कळी काळ म्हणून कळी काळ म्हणून कळी काळ म्हणून कळी काळ पाड नाही 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 कळी काळ कळी काळ पाड नाही पाड नाही पाड नाही कळी काळ पाड नाही पाड नाही तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ क्षेत्र विठ्ठल देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल 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 एक विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल एक विठ्ठल
श्री विठ्ठल रुक्मिणी के 21 नाम। ओम श्री पंढरीनाथाय नमो।